Here's some information on changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. One way to multiply or divide mixed numbers involves first converting them to improper fractions. So let's practice that. Consider the case where you were asked to measure out 1 1/3 cups of flour using only the 1/3 cup measure. How many times would you need to use that measurer? It will take 3 uses to get to 3/3, or 1 whole cup, and an extra use for the extra 1/3 cup of flour. So that means 1 1/3 cups is the same as 4 uses of the 1/3 cup, or 1 1/3 cups is the same as 4/3 cups. 1 1/3 was a mixed number, and that means the same thing as the improper fraction form of 4/3 cups. As another example, let's try to convert 2 5/8 to its improper form. We need to figure out how to measure the 2 wholes in terms of eighths. Since 8/8 makes 1 whole, 2 sets of that will make 2 wholes. 2 wholes will be equal to 16/8. If you don't believe me, check 16 divided by 8. Does it give you 2 wholes? So 2 5/8 means the same thing as 16/8 plus 5/8 for a total of 21/8. And you're done. That one's improper. As another example, try to convert 3 4/5 to its improper form. We need to figure out how to measure the 3 wholes in terms of fifths. Since 5/5 makes 1 whole, 3 sets of that will make 3 wholes. 3 wholes will be equal to 15/5. And if you don't believe me, check 15 divided by 5. Does it give you 3 wholes? Back to 3 4/5. It means the same thing as 15/5 plus 4/5 for a total of 19/5. Done! Now try to convert these to their improper forms. I encourage you to record them, try to do them, and then push play again and listen to the solution and see if you get the same thing. So the ones to give a try on are 10 3/4, 11 1/2, 7 4/9. 10 3/4. Measure the 10 wholes in terms of fourths. 10 sets of 4/4 would be 40/4. 10 3/4 means the same thing as 40/4 plus 3/4 for 43/4. 11 1/2. Measure the 11 wholes in terms of halves. 11 sets of 2 out of 2 is 22 out of 2, or 22 halves. 11 1/2 means the same thing as 22 halves plus 1/2, which is 23 halves. 7 4/9. Measure the 7 wholes in terms of ninths. 7 sets of 9/9 is 63/9. 7 4/9 means the same thing as 63/9 plus 4/9, which equals 67/9. There is a shortcut for doing these. Notice that each time you work on one, you end up multiplying the whole number by the given denominator. Then you end up adding on the numerator. In the previous problem, 7 4/9, we ended up doing 7 times 9 to get 63. Then we added 63 plus 4 to get 67. You keep the original denominator in your final answer, so we ended up at 67/9. The shortcut will work every time, but knowing the concepts behind the scenes, knowing about how to turn wholes into the portions, is very powerful.